Good day, Romeos.
ROMEOs.
How are you?
Welcome, welcome.
Well, Dominic, and how are you?
I'm excellent.
Aki, Naran?
Non-Jamal.
Nunjamali.
World headquarters looks fantastic,
That's it.
Naran.
There we go.
You say Nunjamayali.
Non-Jamayale.
That is pork.
Do you care to translate for
Yeah.
those viewers and listeners?
Nunjamali means,
Not too bad.
not too bad.
Not
But
that bad.
Nunjamayali, because mayali is pork. So just as
This is Italian or Sicilian? There's a difference.
No, it's Italian.
All right.
There we go. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Once again, like and subscribe. We love your comments. Keep it going.
Yep.
And what are we doing today?
Well, suggestion was made by our very own Dominic
Yes, there you go.
that we perhaps discuss today one of Aki's most favorite political figures,
Oh, perfect. Who's this?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Mother Teresa?
Well, similar initials, but slightly different orientation.
She's not my favorite, but
Marjorie
I said
Taylor
one
Greene.
of.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. She's in the news recently with some interesting sparring with
El
DJ,
Presidente.
with DJ.
So is she one up or is she a trend?
Well, that's the question,
that's the
isn't
question.
it?
Well, guys, let's I guess start with
Yeah.
where she was politically and what got her to where she was just a few weeks ago, which is undying.
She was a Trump hack.
Well, let's not call her names. Let's just say that she was aligned very well.
That's what she was.
That's your opinion.
No, what happened here? Go ahead.
I would call her a Trump hag.
Okay.
Care to distinguish between hack and hag?
Hag?
Yeah.
Have you seen her?
Okay.
So no. Let's
Oh.
walk all of this.
Can we try and keep the
Decency just went out the
conversation
window.
a little bit higher level?
So she was very well aligned with Trump from a policy perspective. It was all about MAGA. It was all about whatever Trump says. Just following. It was like a religious experience for her, as it is with a lot of Trump followers. The MAGA crowd, the strong, the faithful. And again, he's very charismatic, and he has policies that appeal to certain people and certain aspects of certain people, in terms of Islamophobia, in terms of the border, all of this stuff. His policies attract a certain demographic, and she was perfectly aligned with that demographic and those policies. This is how she was, and how her actions, which led her to where she is, as of a couple of weeks ago, let's say.
Yeah.
So what changed?
Well, that's interesting.
See, that's a scary part.
Epstein.
No, wait,
No.
it's more than Epstein, but
Yeah.
you say it's scary. So let's talk about what changed, and then perhaps you can expand on why you think it's
I
scary.
don't know what changed. What changed?
It's interesting that somehow she saw the light in the sense of the victims of Epstein being more important than hiding or a cover-up. So I think one of the major tenets of the MAGA movement had to do with some of the QAnon guys and the conspiracy theorists. And that's a solid portion of the base of the MAGA crowd. And, again, I'm not going to shit on conspiracy theorists. There are lots of things that are going on that we don't know about. But one of the huge pieces of this conspiracy aspect was Epstein, was about pedophiles. Remember the pizza shop with...
They peddled endlessly.
all this crap. So there's a whole huge... tornado, if you will, of stuff spinning around Epstein and pedophilia.
Yeah, so I think it's more fundamental than that. So
Okay.
so as I understand it, and if I'm wrong, you guys or some of our viewers and listeners can
Chime in.
correct whatever misinformation is being shared here. But my understanding is that she fundamentally, so Marjorie Taylor Greene was extremely well aligned with the priorities that Trump established prior to his most recent election or re-election. And I think the campaign just reinforced her level of commitment
Absolutely.
to Trump.
Absolutely.
And what has transpired is that, in her eyes, the current administration, has deviated from the priorities, or some of the high-level priorities that had previously been established. And I absolutely recognize and agree that the Epstein files, if we can refer to them as such, is high on the list. So the fact that those were going to be released, unredacted, and so on and so forth. And if I'm not mistaken, she herself was a victim of sexual aggression at a young age. Mm-hmm. And so she has very strong feelings and convictions on this particular topic.
Perfect.
Okay? So that is an important consideration.
Right.
But she was also quite vocal about the amount of time the current administration is spending on foreign affairs at a time when she believes that the America First agenda, which she also felt was one of the right priorities established by Trump, requires much greater focus on domestic issues
Yeah.
than he and his cabinet are spending time on.
Yeah. So economic issues were also
Right.
part of the decision.
I would also say that regardless of whether you like her or not, you agree with her ideology or not, one thing that you have to recognize objectively is that she has tried to remain close to her constituents.
Yeah.
So to her credit,
Yeah.
and unlike many of her counterparts in Congress, she regularly meets
Yeah.
with constituents, small business owners, and so on.
Yeah.
She listens to them,
Yeah. You got to.
and she represents them to the best of her ability.
She does her job. That's her job.
Okay?
Yeah.
So over the course of the last many weeks now, many weeks, she has become increasingly vocal in sharing her concerns.
Her and her constituents' concerns.
And the government shutdown was, from what I understand, the straw that broke the camel's back. She's one of the few members of Congress who refused to accept compensation during the shutdown period.
Yeah.
She lambasted both Democrats and, even more importantly, members of her own party
Yeah.
for causing the shutdown,
Particularly the speaker.
and for penalizing hardworking Americans who deserve better treatment
Yeah.
and
a
greater
paycheck.
consideration.
Absolutely.
So all of these factors combined led her to meet with members of the other side. So representatives from the media who are much more liberal in their ideology or hardcore liberal to appear on their programs and to talk very openly and honestly about her feelings.
Yeah.
So as she did so, it not surprisingly led to a growing conflict between the President of the United States and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah. So she did her job.
And she maintained throughout that she remained loyal to Trump and committed to Trump, but wanted to see him honor the commitments, pledges, and priorities that he had campaigned with.
Right.
You know, Pat, that's all good. Very good analysis. But one thing is that I can get past is all the statements she made. Crazy shit statements. How do we get past that? I mean, that's what they should do. Bring her on a program and show the statements she made. And how does she justify them today?
But you know what, Dominic? The fact that she is now Trump's target is going to play in her favor.
Well,
Let's not confuse issues. So
Yeah.
I would say, in answer to your question, to her credit. So some people say she's batshit crazy. Okay.
I do, yeah.
I would say that, like many people in society,
Yeah.
she believes things that are unproven and untested.
Yeah. Conspiracy theories.
Well, but there are things that aren't captured as conspiracy theories that could very well be.
The space lightning, or the
Well, it goes much further than that.
I mean, you know,
The laser.
Well, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on religion, but
well,
come on.
hang on. The other part is we have to also understand, she may not be the most intelligent, tool in the shed.
So I'll tell you what.
Sharpest tool.
I used to read the headline like a lot of people,
Yeah.
but I never really actually watched her or listened to her attentively. And again, over the course of the last few weeks, she just happened to come across one of my screens. She appeared on Real Time with Bill Maher.
Yep. saw
And I
that.
was pleasantly surprised by
We
what
were-
I saw and heard.
Yeah.
Surprised, shocked. I was
So-
shocked.
Well, I wouldn't say shocked because, can you really trust all the headlines you read?
No, you can't.
No,
can't.
but
So
But you
I'd never seen her speak really.
Yeah.
I'd never really listened to her. This was the first opportunity I had, and she made a favorable impression. Do I agree with everything she says? Of course not.
But all politicians are selfish. So she's doing this for her own good.
I don't think so.
Well, she's
No.
quitting politics, so
No.
So that's the piece we hadn't discussed till
This
now.
is the way I see it.
she's
She's
quitting.
like in the Serengeti when the wildebeests are like migrating. They get to a body of water that they have to cross, and it's crocodile infested. Then who is going to be the first one that's going to go?
Interesting.
Because I think and she's sacrificing because if she comes out of this looking really good,
Yeah.
she's ahead of the game.
Really? How is she ahead of the game?
So hold it.
I think in terms of even going for a presidential.
So here's
she said she would not, and I'll take her at her
They
word.
all say that.
I think
She's not presidential material.
So she's that wildebeest was the first one in the water and thinks that.
But is she going to be the one? Is she going to be the one within that's going to be responsible for fragmenting the MAGA
But that's what
movement
I mean.
and becoming the counterweight to him? Maybe not running for president, but she has, she's resonating with a lot of the MAGA rank and file for the reasons that you explained.
I don't think it ends well for those people. Look, Liz Cheney, things didn't end well for her. I don't think things are going to end well. I would say this about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
It depends.
She's demonstrated more courage
yeah.
than anyone else
Yeah.
I've seen in Congress in recent years.
But I'm skeptical because of her, her history of her
Okay,
past.
but
She has a business background. She was a business owner.
But look at what the card she's playing right now. The card she's playing right now. Number one, she does come across as being, honest. She's being true to her principles.
Yeah.
Authentic.
Yeah.
Now that is, and that really, even the people on the other side, that's a big plus, that we are convinced by what we're seeing, and we're seeing this authenticity. That's a big plus for
That's
her.
why I think she's that wildebeest.
And and don't underestimate her abilities. I mean, I agree. I mean, I always thought of her. I went beyond the headlines. Sometimes I listened to her talk about foreign affairs. I listened to her talk about the Middle East, and she was really completely a lunatic in the things that she was saying. But if you look at her own profile, she's a successful small business person. A family business, like a really good profile of a good, homegrown politician. And she's playing that card, and she's absolutely right to be doing it. And people are really, they're reacting to that.
So
My point though is that number one, is this a sign of finally, the Trump iron hold on the party? Are we seeing like serious cracks in it when we have somebody like Marjorie Greene Taylor?
So.
Who has been with her? She was, and she's right. She was the one. Number one, she was one of the first members of Congress to support Trump from the previous campaign. Right from the get-go, she was there. She points out, that she was sleeping on couches. The Republican Party acknowledges she is by far the largest fundraiser, individual fundraiser, political fundraiser for the whole organization. So this is not some lightweight. So when this one really speaks up and does so, in a stable way, the way she's doing now, the way she's transformed, and she's addressed everything. Like I'm really impressed. She the Gaza war, absolutely, opposed to it and questioned, what was being done there. Bravo.
she's educated herself.
She's educated herself,
Which is great.
And we see, but I also see like the authenticity. She was first and foremost a populist. And this is what you expect from a populist, exactly
Right.
what she's doing right now, to say, my responsibility here is to the people who voted for me. And the people who voted for me are talking about these bread and butter issues. And also on healthcare. I'm very impressed by the position she's taking on healthcare.
Right. So
Okay, but for all the things you're impressed with, I want to fast forward to the most recent news concerning Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's resigning.
yeah, as of Jan 6 or something like that.
I can.
Okay. So she's resigning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's been fighting the good fight, but many people will now say she's quitting.
Well, what's happening is, let's be clear about this.
So, guys-
she's going to be primaried. I mean, Trump has made it very clear there's going to be a primary,
Right,
and she's
but-
going to lose her seat.
Well, no,
So-
she may lose her seat because she has her own.
But why?
supporters.
Why is she? I mean, if she has a fighting chance, why wouldn't she give it?
Well, guys, let's step back for a second.
why is she not taking a stand,
Let's step back for a second.
fight for her seat?
Well, let's step back for a second. She's getting death threats.
Right.
Okay, when Trump puts a target on you and says you're a traitor,
Very true.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, right?
Very true.
And he throws that bullshit out into the interwebs, and you have a bunch of crazy drooling MAGA hats. Okay, I'm being a little bit.
I love it.
So Naren, you're hitting on a very,
Yeah.
very
Well, that's what I
interesting
mean.
and important point
Yeah.
because regardless of what you think of her, I think everyone has to recognize this is one courageous woman,
Yeah, with a family,
a very courageous woman.
right? So when
And
someone
if
starts,
she is so fearful
exactly
for her own safety
Yeah.
and the safety of her loved ones
so this guy,
that she's abandoning the fight,
exactly. So you have to
that
imagine.
speaks volumes.
But let's not
that's it.
forget, she was one of the promoters of what's happening. So she instigated.
No, she was all in.
She was all in
on Trump.
So
January 6th.
exactly.
She appeared to be all in.
Yeah, so that could also be the politicking, right? So listen, people say whatever it takes
But
to
I
be
think
successful.
but I think she's owned that.
well,
I think in recent
We'll see.
interviews,
yeah.
she has said that some of the things that she previously said, she said for effect.
Yeah.
And there are other things she said out of belief.
Yeah. So how do you parse those
Conviction.
things? Yeah. So how do you separate those two things, right? When people just say shit because they want to say shit to
I don't think
to
you
cause
I don't
controversy.
think you necessarily have to. Look, I believe two things can be true at once or multiple things can be
Well,
true
of
at
course,
once.
but how do you now take someone at their word
Exactly.
now? Because okay, now I'm going to start telling the truth from this moment forward. It's like come on.
No. So for me, the
Maybe
proof
this is
point
her
is
new
the moment
persona.
The moment she decided to challenge Trump and acted on it was the moment of truth.
Yeah, absolutely. But now
So I don't question.
Well, now the consequences are upon her and her family, and she's going to be backing out, and hopefully.
I applaud her bravery.
So do I.
In the same
I'm
way,
I'm not arguing against her. All
in
I'm
the same way
saying-
as Liz Cheney
Yes.
knew at the time that she opposed Trump that it would cause her to lose.
It's all of them. It's all of them. Everyone
Well,
who
there aren't that many.
opposes. That's right.
You
But
think
whoever does.
You think some will follow?
I think so.
Well, that's
so that,
Aki's
that
point,
was your
and-
initial
Yeah.
question.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I think
We're seeing some of the.
I
So
think
the
so.
wildebeest is in the water.
I think
Yeah.
I think relatively few
Let's see who's
because
got
I
the
think
see what
balls.
happens in
most
midterms.
people are selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see who's got the balls.
Yeah.
too
We'll
bad.
see the midterms.
Because, I've never hidden the fact I like Trump's messages. I just don't like him as a messenger. But I'm hoping that more people will follow her.
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens with the Epstein files. Okay, they're still not all out.
Do you think that we're going to see complete
of course
transparency?
not. Of
So
course
what's
not.
going to change?
Nothing. The point is that people are going to be hounding the DOJ, and they're going to be hounding their politicians to see unredacted all of the papers. That's what they're going to be.
They won't get it.
Right. That's what you're saying. What I think is there's going to be whistleblowers that are going to throw shit out there because people are going to be fed up internally. Because remember, government is people. It's human beings.
Okay. There's government and then there's Trump.
Okay.
What has Trump been accused of in terms of wrongdoings?
Nothing.
Well,
From the
come on.
Epstein files, he's not.
No,
he's
I'm
been
not. I'm
accused
not.
of anything.
I'm not
No.
talking about Epstein specifically.
Well,
I'm
I'm
talking more.
talking about-
But more broadly speaking, we know who he is. We know what he is.
Yeah.
And yet nothing is
Nothing's gonna
held
stick.
against him
No.
to the point that he doesn't continue to live his best life.
There's nothing. I agree, and there's nothing that's going to come out of this that's going to take him out of office.
Okay, so what does it change?
All it's going to do is it's going to throw an ick factor into this guy that he doesn't want.
He
And the
doesn't.
fa-
He hasn't had the X factor before.
Not with his MAGA crowd. Not with the people who follow him.
Yeah.
People like that he can grab a pussy because they let you when you're famous, right? None of that affected anything.
Nothing's going to change.
Well, I agree that nothing's going to change. All I'm saying is that the MAGA hats and the conspiracy theorists and the QAnon guys and all the guys that have been talking about Epstein and Pizzagate and all this shit for the past 5 years, 6 years, whatever number of years this thing's been going on, they want to see an unredacted story in front of them, and then all the shit can hit the fan. All the people can say, oh, look, your name was here, and look, there was a guy that just resigned from who was he? He was at one of the funds or the banks or something like that. His name was in some of the correspondence that
What's his name?
the Epstein family,
Yes,
or the Epstein
yes.
estate gave.
Starts with an H.
Yeah,
Yes.
I forget his name, but
Yes.
but he was one of the latest casualties
Right.
of the information
Correct.
Of the stuff that was released from
Yeah.
the Epstein estate.
Yes.
The 22,000 emails or whatever that were released, right? So he was in there.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but people want to see it.
Everyone involved
Yes.
will fall, with the exception of Trump.
I'm not arguing
And-
with you. I'm
and
just
I-
saying they
and I
have to
believe-
see.
Hold on.
They want to see the paper. They want to see
I
the names.
believe
That's all.
that the more people oppose him,
Mm-hmm.
the more he will close ranks, tighten the ranks,
Yeah,
and
he's already done that.
lean more and more towards an autocratic, dictator-like
Go after
leadership
Comey.
style.
Go after Letitia, whatever her name.
That didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's telling the DOJ what to do. I mean, they're supposed to be
He's
freaking.
telling everyone to do. He's telling the Supreme Court what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he's a little more subtle with the Supreme Court, but he's essentially telling them what to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, he
So-
likes to.
Is the-
He wants to be a dictator.
Is the ultimate Teflon dog.
So I don't think that the fact that a few or several members of Congress may choose to oppose Trump and speak out against him is going to change anything other than potentially just causing him to take a tighter and tighter grip on the presidency and to adopt an even more autocratic leadership style.
Guys, the midterms are coming up.
That's exactly it.
next year. Okay, in the next year, depending on how the economy goes, depending on a bunch of other things that we don't know about, because obviously it's in our future. There's going to be an election that's held, and if the Democrats do win
The House.
House, Senate, they win, all of that, then there's going to be a severe restriction on what Trump can do. At that point, that's what I'm afraid of, because at that point, then I agree with you. He's gonna.
Then his recourse at that point is to continue doing what he's been doing, even though the Republicans have majority in Congress today, both the House and Senate. He's not relying on him for things that are traditionally their responsibility.
No, exactly.
And so he's already testing the waters.
Yeah, but they're not fighting back, whereas the Democrats would.
And that's why I'm saying it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, you're right. It will go to the Supreme
And he'll
Court, but
say,
there is a
I'm-
constitution. And in the end, when he's
Well,
blatantly...
there's a constitution. It'll be interpreted however it's interpreted.
Right, but when it's blatant, when it comes to spending, when it comes to
Tariffs.
war, when it comes to...
How are we doing so far
Well, the
on
tariffs. No, the tariffs, I think
No,
they're so...
Okay, but we're seeing... But
I think
right
he'll
now,
be fine with tariffs.
Okay, what we're seeing right now... look,
Everything,
no, I don't
everything
remind-
will become an issue of national security. Everything will
Yeah,
become
right.
a crisis.
He's rolling back tariffs. Right now, this week, he's rolling back tariffs because he's recognizing the impact that it's having on the
inflation.
food, on food costs,
On
certain
inflation, yeah.
staple costs.
Yes.
He's reacting to that by,
Yes.
for the first time. Hey, maybe they're not so beautiful, these tariffs.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is the following, and all I'm saying is to your point, the midterm elections are going to be key, are going to be essential. Let's not forget, most American voters are independents. They're not Republicans and they're not Democrats, and the independents went for him.
Let's remind ourselves and our audience that before the next midterms,
Yeah.
there's going to be a significant revision made to the tax code in the U.S. There are going to be a number of
Yes.
things that will be...
Redistricting.
Yes.
There are a number of things that'll be done that will cause whatever the sentiment is today to shift
Yeah, I agree.
between now and this time next year.
Yeah.
And
We'll
if
see.
he ends the
You're right.
Ukraine war,
So, but coming back to
That's,
your to you, so I want to hear from you, Dominic, and answering the question you raised earlier.
yeah, I think I'm optimistic that she'll be that wildebeest, and they're gonna follow. Some will follow, and then it's gonna become a.
Well, let's call her a gazelle, not a wildebeest. I mean, come on.
Whatever. You think she's that fast?
No,
Seriously.
she just looks prettier now.
You know, I really believe that some will
Some
follow,
fantasies here and around.
and then you can have like a shift, like a point of no return. Then more will follow.
Okay. So look, here's
You don't believe
what I
See what the impact will be.
Well, I'm taking the pieces that you guys have all put out. I'm putting them together, and we have something very interesting. So to your point, of course, if the economy, he fails on the economy, and people affordability being the essential issue, we all agree. And if people feel no, and we're already seeing like a lot of people, that are blaming him now for the affordability issues right now that they're dealing with.
Of course.
They're blaming him. We're seeing that in the polls. So if that trend
38%.
continues, and if there's no peace between Ukraine and Russia, nothing changes in Gaza. Basically, there's going to be quite an uprising against him.
Honestly, I don't think people
In the
give a
midterm,
shit.
he's going to lose in the House.
I don't think most of America gives a shit about Ukraine or
Affordability.
Gaza.
Affordability.
It's all about how much does gas cost?
Yeah.
How much do my groceries
Right.
cost?
Affordability.
How much taxes am I paying? To his point,
Okay.
right?
But
so all of that, when you aggregate all of that, that's
Yeah.
going to be the
Right.
sentiment that people are going to have
Right.
towards their president.
Right, and of course,
That's what I think.
don't underestimate also ICE. Don't underestimate ICE and then their actions. That is also
That's certain people that are pissed, and it's only in
becoming a
certain
bigger.
places.
It's becoming much bigger.
Yeah, but it's only in large cities that are democratically
but-
based that were gonna vote Democrat anyway.
If what
so
I'm
he's
saying,
smart when he's
okay,
with what he's doing.
if I'm
now,
saying
I think.
if things on the negative side, if things play out that way, the way I'm just describing it, I agree with Pat. He's gonna just batten down the hatches and coerce the Supreme Court and do everything he can to accumulate as much authoritarian power as he possibly can.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's going to be like a serious crisis for the states and the world.
What's amazing is he hasn't been in power for a year yet.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-year term.
Now-
and it feels like he's been here for like the past 10 years.
And
It's crazy.
And throw
Because
into
he's
that,
getting things
and throw
done.
into that. You don't need to have, and throw into that like where Epstein also can weigh in the balance is not necessarily we have clear clear evidence of wrongdoing, but if his name keeps popping up, I mean that's all
It
people.
did.
Even more. I mean, if that escalates, what I'm saying, that's the situation.
I don't
Now,
think
the
that's
flip
gonna
side of
Aki,
that. Hold it.
Can I,
Let me
no,
just
I
finish
have
this.
to interrupt your thought process for just a moment.
Right.
I don't know if you're trying to master the art of sign language.
Oh, sorry.
but
Sorry,
your-
guys.
your
Sorry,
hands-
viewers.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So now the flip side of thank you, technical crew. Thank you. So my apologies to our technical department. Where's Sherry? The flip side of that, of course, is if his tax reforms are well taken and they do have impact in the economy, if affordability is addressed, and in other words, if it does well,
If there isn't a stock market crash.
if he does well, he's untouchable.
Yeah, I agree.
He's untouchable.
So
Those
guys,
are-
I mean, I think we're all agreeing around the table that as long as the mom and pop requirements are in place and everyone is happy with their existence or more or less happy with their existence, happier than they are right now, because right now his polling numbers are atrociously low. But he's got a year to fix
That's
that.
normal.
So there's something else that we are leaving out of this conversation, which just puzzles me.
Which is?
The other side.
What's the option?
Yeah.
So people aren't voting in a
Yeah.
vacuum. It's like,
Yeah.
well, the Democrats are a shit show.
Yeah.
Well, they are, yeah.
An absolute shit show.
A Schumer shit show.
That's part of the shit.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
That's
There's no competition.
So careful what you wish for.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's
too.
a- yeah,
what the hell?
that's a key
I mean,
piece.
what are the policies that are like? What's the other side saying? You don't hear anything.
There is
it's
no,
like
there's no leader.
they absolutely were on a high with the government shutdown and really
Yeah, and they pissed
taking a
it
stand
away.
and they pissed and a part of the party pissed it away. Now there's a lot of infighting over that. By the way,
okay, that's what's becoming.
It's
I said more
politicking.
visible.
Yeah.
But the Democrats have been fragmented.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no strong leadership on the left at
No.
all, and people aren't migrating to the middle. That's the other thing; they're still polarized. So you still have a lot of polarization in the policies and in the politics in the U.S. And this whole
Well, and the
so
more
getting
and,
back to
and the more
Marjorie
and the more left leaning
and the
seem to be gaining favor,
yeah, well, that's the problem.
which is for the whole of America
Yeah.
is not a positive development.
It's not a good electoral position for sure.
No, absolutely not. So getting back to Marjorie, which is where all of this started, I think she's done a fantastic job in pointing out to the MAGA
Faithful.
crowd and faithful that there are holes in the story and that certain things need to be addressed. Now, to your point, Dominic, she may be the gazelle or wildebeest in the water, the first one in to see how things are going for a potential future presidential push, even though she's saying, of course, I don't want to be a president, but, you know,
Yeah.
we'll take that at...
Look, I think
I won't take that at face
if
value.
if she's the least bit self-aware, and I haven't seen anything to demonstrate otherwise, she'll quickly recognize that she's not presidential material.
Like Trump was? I mean, come on.
Trump is a one of, and we keep talking. Listen, Trump is
A unicorn.
A unicorn. Absolutely, that's the right term. He's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd like to see, and I just want to get you guys to weigh in. With Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning her post, I think you're aware, and our audience, certainly American members of the audience, are aware that the UFC is planning a White House event around the middle of 2026.
Marjorie versus
Do you think?
Trump.
Do you think that the American and even an international audience would buy in to a Donald J. Trump versus Marjorie Taylor Greene no holds barred match?
I'd love it.
I'd buy front row tickets.
Okay, so you guys are in.
There is some craziness in Pat.
So the next question: who do you think would win?
My money would be on the Marjorie.
Oh, absolutely. They say, yeah.
Yeah,
She's
definitely.
tough.
Oh, yeah, she's
yeah.
tough and she's
trains.
fast.
She trains. She trains.
She's
right?
fast. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
By the way,
That's
So,
a stupid
I-
one.
this will solve the U.S. debt problem because the tickets that they'll sell will basically bring their debt down to zero. What is it, 38 trillion?
Bonanza.
They'll get it, no problem. Pay-per-view, 38 trillion.
And the
Bonanza.
amount of sports betting that will take place.
Oh my
Are you kidding me?
God.
There you go. 38 trillion, done.
Open the floodgates.
Right?
Will the new ballroom be ready for that?
It's too
No.
small. As large as it is, there's no way this is going to happen on the lawn of
the
the
ground.
White House. on
Yeah,
the ground.
pay-per-view.
Absolutely. It might be the largest pay-per-view event in history.
6 billion people will be watching.
I don't know. I mean, okay. It's great what she did, but I just don't trust
I think Dana White would buy into this.
Well, at $100 a pop, 6 billion is what? 6 trillion is 6
You,
billion.
you can go over 100 for this one.
It's going to be 600 billion.
You can go over 100 for this one.
Okay, so they might make $1 trillion. There you go. That'll put a dent in their debt.
Nice guy.
So audience, please weigh in on this one.
Yeah, $135. That'll put it there. Yeah, $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Poll question: hey, would you buy tickets to a Trump?
So DJT versus MTG.
Yeah.
MTG.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's poll question audience. Let's get your responses.
With the opening act, MKG.
Who's that?
MGK.
Machine Gun Kelly. MGK. Oh God.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, I like that. I'd like to fantasize about that. Yes. Oh, they'd both be in thongs.
I don't think anyone wants to see that. I was thinking full body suits, actually. Going the other direction.
Burkas.
Health break. We need a health break.
So getting back to so none of you, I'm the only guy who thinks she'll be the only one. I mean,
No, I think people are going to,
No,
I
no,
think
no.
others will follow eventually.
I think
So I mean, the question may be how many will follow.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll be the only
Okay,
one.
Yeah.
okay.
My point is, I don't think it matters.
Well, I think I think the
At
only,
some point it will.
so the only reason why
When he
people will
dies.
follow is I think if he continues, meaning Donald Trump, if he continues to go against the MAGA faithful with some of his policies and some of the things that he does, if he continues to fight against the Epstein release, for example, because the DOJ is not going to release everything unredacted. We know that, to your point earlier, Pat. So if he continues to try and stonewall the release of these files, there are going to be more and more people who are tempted to come out and follow Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think that's what's going to happen. However, if he flips and he starts, continuing his MAGA ways and not providing any air to the people who are going against him, then I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be one and done.
People
That's what I think.
people have very short memories nowadays.
True. The whole
So-
What'd
You
you
know-
say?
television cycle.
That's Nuran's line.
What did I say?
and listening problems.
Huh? What? Hey?
So I don't think in 6 months' time that most of what we're discussing here even matters.
Yeah. It's
Well,
a good point.
economy is going to be really
It'll be in the-
important.
but it
Economy.
depends on what happens with the economy.
Yeah, exactly. And the stock market.
Just what happens with the stock market.
The AI bubble, for example, that we've talked about in the past.
What happens to the tariffs?
Yeah, tariffs we've talked about in the past.
know,
Epstein files we
the-
talked about in the past.
The headlines, one thing is for certain, the headlines 6 to 9 months from now
Yeah.
are completely different headlines than the ones we're
Oh
reading
yeah,
today.
the old adage, right? 6 to 9 months is an eternity in politics.
It's a new baby.
So, tax relief for businesses, tax relief for
That's going to be
individuals,
big. That's going to help the economy big.
right?
time.
Lower interest rates. I mean, look, there are a lot
Let's
of
see.
things that are going to be working in his favor.
He's going
Let's
to
see.
replace Powell.
Exploding debt.
Well, forget the debt. I'm talking about. So people don't give a shit about the debt.
No.
People give a shit about inflation.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah, inflation, absolutely.
right. So it's about an individual and their lives. If there's a way that he's making everyone's lives better, then they're gonna. It's gonna be a tidal wave of Republicans coming in the
Nobody
midterm.
cares about the next generations.
Exactly. However, if shit does blow up when it comes to the
Yeah.
economy, when it
Yeah.
comes to tariffs, when it comes to inflation, then there's going to be a backlash.
Yeah. So look,
100%.
if things improve,
Yeah,
he'll take all the credit.
of course.
And if things worsen,
He's gonna
He'll
continue-
deflect the blame. And what he's demonstrated in the past is he has this uncanny ability
Yeah.
to convince
It's Biden's
his
fault.
audience
It's Biden's fault.
that either way,
It's Hillary's fault.
he's the best choice.
Yeah.
It's Obama's fault.
Yeah.
Like, how many presidents ago do you have to go?
No, it's just.
It's
But
Bush's
it's
fault.
also personal. It's also personal. He just, especially Obama. He wants to really tear down Obama's legacy.
Of course.
So personal.
And Clinton, I guess.
Yeah.
Bubba. We can talk about him blowing Bubba. What the hell was that about? Epstein's brother didn't. We should talk more about Epstein's brother.
Why?
What about Epstein's brother?
He probably knows some shit that.
I never knew.
Or like a lot of people, he makes shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the problem. We
The
don't know what's
person who
real.
probably, the only living person who probably has.
Ghislaine.
Right. And she won't speak.
Well, she's in a perfect place right
She's
now.
done.
Yeah, she's in
done.
a nice federal facility. She's getting, everything she needs. Yeah,
She's been well taken care
Oh.
of.
yeah, absolutely.
So, guys, anything else to add on this particular topic?
I guess as a closing statement, I'll just be giving Marjorie Taylor Greene props for actually being one of those rare politicians after years of being a terrible human being at times, and playing the role at times of actually doing her job, listening to her constituents, and acting with conviction and following her path, and then suffering the consequences that she has. I think she's done a fantastic job recently, and I hope she continues to be a beacon for other people to just do what, just follow their convictions. I think she deserves props for that. And all the crazy shit she said in the past, well, hopefully she's educated herself and she's better moving forward. But I think she impressed the hell out of me, which I never thought I'd say those words. So
Wow.
good for her.
Wow. I can't forgive her that easily. It's too many crazy shit stuff. It's got to be the nucleus of her being to say those things. You can't just erase them. There's something, I really do. I really feel that way.
I believe in redemption.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but Dom, also, I mean, there's many politicians, mainstream politicians, have in their past, crazy stuff in the '60s when they were protesters, when they broke the law and so forth, and eventually, they mature. So her maturity level might be, at a different pace, but there's also that. Yeah. And look, I'm encouraged, right? Because one of the hopes that we have is against Trump is at some point, that American individual spirit, and standing up for principle, and standing up for no kings.
100%.
And this is what she's expressing right now, which is, I would not think it would be Marjorie Greene Taylor that would be taking on that role. I'm sorry?
Taylor Greene.
Taylor Greene.
Oh, sorry. What did I say? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes.
MTJ. G.
Yeah, I know.
G, not TJ.
So I didn't think she would be the last one. So the last one from, if we were looking at who would be that person, that would be courageous and stand up and finally, send a message about Trump.
It turned out to be
I would
her.
never think it would be her.
No.
And that goes back to how,
or Kid Rock.
or Kid Rock. So that goes back, to that strength in America where people at the right time have the courage and the integrity to step up at great personal cost for the well-being of the society.
It gives us hope.
It gives us hope.
She gives us hope. Wow.
Yeah, I know, eh? That's
Right.
one to
My brain
ponder.
just blew up.
Oh wow, yeah.
Just popped the bean.
But good for her. Holy shit.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is I hope that she and her family
Yeah.
remain safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not just her.
And kudos to her, man. Come on. If you're listening, Marjorie.
What about that
Good job.
astronaut? What's his name? Kelly.
Senator Kelly.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot of death threats.
Yeah, they all are.
That's more expected because he's on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's become
It's pretty scary.
it's become a very scary
And God
environment.
And seriously, guys,
He's become Putin, for God's sake.
like
They're
Not
going to be
quite yet,
they're
but-
going to be thrown out the window soon. What the fuck?
and God,
Aspirations.
and let's pray. Any political
Let's what?
assassinations. Okay, I pray, but you can choose a different word. The point though is a political assassination. Like if we start having like a wave of political assassinations, we don't want to see that. We don't want to ever be
Charlie
in that
Kirk.
situation. Yeah.
Look at that.
And
Right.
if anything, that's why anything happens to her, I don't even want to contemplate, that scenario.
Well,
Anyway, not sure prayer is going to be of much use, but
Yeah.
I understand your message.
Okay. That's all that matters.
thoughts and prayers, baby. Thoughts and prayers.
That's all that matters, that we understand our message.
So we're past thoughts and prayers, and I'm going to extend thanks to our audience
Like and subscribe,
for
goddammit.
watching, for listening. Please like, please subscribe, and we look forward to doing this all again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great one.